where I looked around at everyone and everything in my life, and I said, wait a minute, yo. 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 We gotta get back to the way we... Doing things like that. So, like, I'm pretty confident in myself, and I'm confident in my abilities, I'm confident in my talents, I'm confident in my skills, and I'm confident that if I'm determined to be the most successful, youngest black film, the youngest and most successful black filmmaker of the 21st century, that my dreams will come true. I truly believe that, because I'm a creative person, and I am very, very, very motivated and ambitious.
Peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo, I see you.
I'm back. I am back. I am back. I am back. I want to give a special hello to all of my socialites and celebutants across the country and beyond. We are here for the fall season of 2009. I don't really discuss this story publicly often, and I haven't really with any of you. 10 years ago, I decided to leave Temple University in Philadelphia. I no longer wanted to be in a liberal arts college. I no longer wanted to be an institution where I had to take psychology and world history and foreign language and all these other courses. I just wanted to be in an arts program. I wanted to just study film and study screenwriting without having to worry about all the other, academic classes that helped me meet graduation requirements. And in doing so, and making the decision not to attend Temple University anymore, to go forward, I applied to various schools in New York and LA because I wanted to be, on the stomping grounds of other artists. I wanted to be where everything was what I thought was really happening, really, really big. New York, LA, of course. I applied to the School of Visual Arts in New York, and out of 1,000 applicants that year, they only chose 10% of us. So only 100 of us were accepted. And God graced me, with being one of the ones who was accepted to the program, the film program. And unfortunately, for a school year that cost $24,000 with room and board included, the financial aid package only offered me $6,000. And of course, at that point in time, my parents did not have $18,000 saved just to say, okay, Zim, here's the rest of the money, go ahead. And at that time in my life, of course, 10 years ago, I didn't have the kind of established credit where I could, take out a loan for that kind of money. So I ended up not being able to go. And for the first time in my life, and, by God's grace, for the only time in my life, I fell into a stage of depression, to the point where I was not getting up out of the bed. I wasn't eating. I was barely showering. My mother and father were worried sick. And I just wasn't responsive to really anyone, because it was like I was saying, God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you treating me this way? Why am I enduring this? And this is a practice that many of us sort of exude in our everyday lives. We look and we say, why is this happening to me? Why are you doing this to me? Instead of saying to God, thank you for allowing this to happen for me. See, what many of us don't realize is that, God has us traveling along a path that He has chosen for us. And that there are many times where we want Z when He's trying to allow us to travel A, B, C, D, and go along the proper path. We get so frustrated in wanting what we want right now. And if we can't have it, then I'm just going to go and do this, and I'm just going to go and do that. And I say all of this because what happened for me was that 10 years later, not only did I get to New York, but I also got to LA, as many of you know. In May of 2008, I traveled to LA and lived there for 9 months. And when I came back, people said to me, oh, I'm so sorry things didn't work out. And I would look at them and smile and say, well, you know, of course they worked out. It wasn't in God's plan for me to be in LA for a whole year or for 2 years or for a lifetime. And, you know, I would say, and who's to say that God is not going to allow me to go back? I was there for the 9 months I was there because God knew that I was very distracted in Baltimore. I was so focused and I have gotten so complacent with making a certain amount of money, with being able to eat out 2 and 3 times a week, going shopping at Nordstrom's and Bloomingdale's and Tyson's Corner on the weekends, you know, being able to pay all my bills on time every week. I got very comfortable, but I wasn't fulfilled internally. I didn't feel successful, even though from the outside looking in, people could say that I was, but I didn't feel successful. So he picked me up 9 years after I wanted to originally go to LA and New York. He waited. He waited until I knew what it was to fall in love. He waited until I came out and felt really comfortable in my own skin. He waited until I knew what it was to really save money, to sacrifice. He waited, and I had to wait on him. I wanted to leave 10 years ago. He made me wait until I was ready, you know? So it's like, in life, there are times when you have to accept the fact that God has you where He wants you for that particular time at that particular moment because you aren't quite ready to move forward. And He also does things to protect us. Even as simple as when we sit in traffic sometimes and we're late for work or we're late for a birthday party or late to pick someone up and we're so mad and we're like, oh God, not today. But never stopping to realize that God could be protecting you by holding you in traffic, protecting you from an accident that you could be facing 3 miles down the road. He could be protecting you from getting off at exit 47 where construction debris could fall on top of your car and crush you or crush whoever's in the passenger seat. You know, we get pissed off and upset when we get into relationships that only last 3 or 4 months and we're like, well, God, I don't understand why it didn't work. Well, maybe God's plan for you was for you not to be in a long-term relationship with that person. He wanted you to garner one lesson, whether it be a financial lesson, a religious lesson, a spiritual lesson, a romantic lesson, a life lesson. And once you've learned that lesson, He pulls the individual out of your space, out of your life. You know, even with jobs, when you ask God, God, get me out of here. Just, you know, I just want another job. I want to move on. God will eventually give you that other job. He will provide you with that new position. It's not going to happen when you want it, and it may not happen at the most convenient time. But He'll give it to you when you are ready and prepared to handle all of the responsibilities, circumstances, and consequences that await you when that window of opportunity presents itself. Never mistaking God's delay for denial. No. So I say to you this fall, as we journey, as we continue along this journey together, know that where you are right now in your life is where you're supposed to be. God's plan for you has already been laid. Do not try to jump beyond the path that He has you traveling. And everywhere you go in life is not supposed to be a permanent stop, just like a road trip. We make stops at the gas station to fill our tank. We make stops at the eatery to get food. They're temporary stops. We're not supposed to be there. The end destination is there. You have to go from city to city, state to state, route to route to get to where you want to be. God knows what He's doing. He holds you. He protects you. I thank you all for listening. I thank you all so much for supporting. I thank you for helping me win Best Video Blog and Best LGBT Blog at this year's 2009 Weblog Awards. I promise to always be true to myself and to be true to you, my audience. I will not resort to gimmicks and foolishness in order to garner more viewers. I will continue to speak on issues that are of concern to our community at large. I will continue to share my truth, my life, my experiences. We are going to do this, socialites and celebutants. We are going to conquer this world one word at a time.